Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Rec League, the place where sports, music, and culture come to play. I'm your host with the most, Sammy Smith. To my left, we got the Bronco, the OG of the group, Philip Dukes, aka Duke the Scoops. And on my right, we have the esteemed Kennington Lloyd Smith III. What's good, fellas? What y'all been on lately?
Man, good. Just came back from NABJ in Cleveland. So, we was out there, networking, obviously, but turning up. That's like the premier event for Black journalists. Sammy had us in VIP. I'm saying for the big task force party. I'm saying we was up there. Open bar was the vibes. So appreciate Sammy for curating that for that time. But I'm good, ready for football season. Obviously, a couple weeks away, and glad to chop it up with y'all boys.
Oh yeah, man. Shoot, sounds fun. Wish I could have hit it this year, man. It's hard out here for an old Bronco. These young guys, making all the bread. But nah, man, straight up, I just been staying out the way, laying low. Doing a little coach, a little middle school ball. Got Cam out there. He's in sixth grade this year, so he'll be playing up. Well, not playing up. They play 6 through 8. So, yeah, man, just excited to see him develop and get in here and talk some sports with y'all, man.
Since you talked about football, I have a question for you before we get things going. And we're gonna talk a little college football, but what's going on at Auburn? I heard there's a first down play caller, second down play caller, a third down play caller, and then Hugh Freeze has the ability to override all the play calls. So, like, is he the play caller? Like, since you on that note, you say you out there coaching the kids. I'm wondering, what's y'all's approach, and if you could shed some light on what's going on at Auburn too.
Well, you said it. I think really Hugh Freeze is really the play caller. I think he takes suggestions. So I believe it's like you coach your coaches. The coach, you're taking the CEO approach, where you coach your coaches up and you see, okay, you take the mindset of the CEO, and then the CEO vetoes basically at the end. Like, I mean, I think it just comes down to, man, I don't know. No, not running that. No, I ain't running that. I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, and the way that it was presented yesterday when the coordinators were talking, I think I think it sounded a little more in depth than what it really is. Where it's like, all right, look, in situational plays, you focus on this. In situational plays, you focus on this. I don't think it's no different than having a passing game coordinator being separate from the quarterback coach. Like, I think sometimes we can, when things get put in the words, they can really skew what's really going on. So I think at the end of the day, Hugh Freeze is your play caller, and he gets input from multiple people on that staff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Your play. Now, Derek Nix is the offensive coordinator, but he's coordinating. And I think Hugh Freeze is the guy who says, run this.
Yeah,
run
that. Okay, for sure. Yeah.
That make a little more sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's the only way. Ain't no way, bro.
A little more sense. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're gonna get into some college football later. But yeah, like Ken was saying though, yeah, we was out in Cleveland, we were doing our thing. It was fun. Had a lot of fun out there, and then really it's been like pedal to the metal since I got back to New York. Like, football season right around the corner. Merger just went through with Skydance. I ain't gonna talk too much on it because I can't really speak too much on it, but it's been a lot going on up here in New York. And honestly, man, I'm also trying to dodge getting subpoenaed by people's favorite rapper out here because it seems like everybody getting involved in the lawsuit.
That's what I'm saying. I had to come on and check my mail today.
Right?
I think I'm good though.
I had to call my lawyer, just make sure we weren't implicated.
Man.
Which is what I wanted to talk about first. It was just like, yo, what's going on with the boy?
Man, LA, hey, what did I miss? I mean, man, I don't know, man. How long you think the lawsuit, like this portion of the lawsuit, how long you think it's like been in its infant stages? Like, when do you think it began?
I know he filed right before the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. And then what's been holding it up is there was a key witness, somebody who was, handling the bots, and they've been trying to serve him. And he's just been, saying he's been doing the dash. He did the race. He made it, filed in February. What is it? August?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Shout out to him. He was out here maneuvering.
It's just what he asking for in discovery.
Right, exactly.
Like,
What was he asking for? Hit me to the game.
oh, bro, he was asking UMG for any communications about Kendrick Lamar, Dave Free, and their relationship, and Dave Free's relationship to
Oh, I did see that in like legal type stuff, legal records and all of that, right?
like any emails and stuff that they had. He asked for Kendrick's unredacted contract. He asking for any communications involving any allegations of domestic violence against Kendrick
Yeah,
Lamar,
yeah.
numbers, like all kinds of stuff, which is like, it's funny because like Kendrick is not a UMG artist. Like he does distribution through UMG, but he doesn't have a contract signed.
That's an important distinction, because
Right.
that's what is being said when it's being talked about in conversations like, oh, well, they're both under the same label. So that's an important distinction. I didn't even know that. So you told me something.
Yeah, Kendrick right now, I'm pretty sure is independent. Like he's a PG Lane, like that's his, that's his label, but he does distribution through UMG, which I believe is through Interscope, which is under the UMG umbrella. So it's like he's not even like a UMG artist. And asking like UMG for communications between Kendrick and Dave Free is kind of like, it's just wild to just think about.
Yeah. I definitely think that there was, because it's like you said, those are the things that's going to be at the forefront. And that's like the weird part of it. I do think in some ways the idea of record labels manipulating streams, partnering with Apple Music or Spotify can be problematic. So I understand the premise in that, but we're talking about, subpoenaing other people's contracts and communications between business partners on other sides, things that don't really have anything to do with the song itself, which is what I thought the entire point of this lawsuit was about. So I feel like we're kind of losing the plot here a little bit, but I wonder where all of this is going.
I mean, he was the recipient of all of that support for years. I mean, one of the things he asked for in Discovery was UMG communications about Pusha T's The Story of Adidon, because he was instrumental in asking UMG to suppress that, which is why it isn't out on DSPs. It's only out on SoundCloud. Like officially, it was released on SoundCloud because Drake went to UMG and basically told them like, yeah, y'all can't do that. Like y'all can't release this. Don't let him release this. And he's thinking that like, the same support that UMG was giving him, they gave Kendrick Lamar with Not Like Us. So I don't know, man. The boy tripping. Like it's anti-hip hop, because at this point, like what's stopping labels from being like, you know what? The big like rap artists just aren't worth it.
I mean, everybody's like that now. Like right now, we at the point where if people ain't rocking with you, it don't matter. And right now, Drake is like someone who had an advantage the whole time, losing their advantage, and they're like, hey, what do I do? I'm one of you guys now. No, this isn't right. Like it's almost like having some I don't know if you guys watch The Boys. It's like he had like an unlimited supply of Compound V.
Yeah. Now he's a civilian.
Yeah, now he's a civilian. Like, hey, this ain't it. Hey, where's my Compound V? Hold up, I'm the boy.
Yeah.
And now he's spiraling. I mean, this is everything that Kendrick Lamar said he would do. Honestly, it's literally like, bro, he's out of control. He doesn't know. I mean, and then I feel bad for him. Drake reminds me so much of Homelander, where it's like when you don't have the people, he just kind of just like, what do I do now? The people don't love me, like, and what did I miss 2 years ago? Song of the Summer. 3 years ago, Song of the Summer. 4 years ago, 2016, this drops. Oh my goodness, like no way. But it came and went so fast, even with that whole rollout. And the song actually hard. People just don't care no more. And I think that's where Drake is like, oh, hold up, something got to be wrong, bro, because y'all supposed to care about this. And now nobody care. Like it nope. And the song ain't bad. I like the song.
Yeah. I could have did without the one with Central C, for the Mandem. But like you said a couple years ago, probably would have win. You would have heard it outside last year before the beat. Probably would have heard it outside. Not the same this year. One thing, The Boy is also like a perfect name for a character in The Boys. Like that just seems like a fire superhero, like in that universe, The Boy.
Man, they got one. It's Homelander's baby.
Is that what they call him?
What they call him?
I don't know if that's it, but he would be the perfect one.
Yeah,
like, the boy.
He's the boy. That's the boy.
Yeah.
He the one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, What Did I Miss would have been song of the summer. No Kid really probably would have been rocking off more than it has been this summer if it had been previous years. And I'm really a little worried. We're gonna talk a little bit about some of this music that's dropping this summer, but like I'm a little worried about how Iceman gonna get received when it does drop. Cause like I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. With this kind of stuff coming out, I don't know if I'm too interested in like kind of reacting to it. Like it's like, bro, I'm gonna hear. Like I'm gonna hear a 40-year-old man whining about the stuff that he used to have. And it's like at some point you got to evolve with the music. And like as I've gotten older, Drake's music has gotten younger, which is crazy because I remember when Drake dropped. Like, I feel like I'm not in the target audience anymore. I feel like Drake has gotten older, but the target audience has stayed the same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's his way, and truthfully, an effective way of maintaining relevancy by continuing to go back, because there's still the subsection of people our age who are still checking for Drake. For the most part. Now, most recently, maybe not as much, but up until this battle, I mean, whether it was for the young people or people our age, he was still at the top. As long as Iceman is not this just long, drawn-out project centering around this beef, I think he'll be okay. But if it's just going to be like, what did I miss type themes throughout the entire album, I think it'll get pretty stale pretty fast. So hopefully it's not that, but feels like it is trending towards that.
It'll never be the same. Bro, man, like when Rey Mysterio took off his mask, it was never the same, dog. Now, at the end of the day, he was still fine, but it wasn't the same Rey. We knew who he was. They done took the boy mask off, dog. It's over with. Kendrick did his job. He literally permanently scarred this guy. This guy, nobody did anything to him. Like, nobody could touch him. Like, he always had the upper hand, and Kendrick literally, it's so bad that Drake said, no way a man could have done this. It was the industry, because no man could have done this.
What do you say on that one song? I'll probably self-destruct if I ever lose, but I never do. Very eerie foreshadowing, whatever track that was.
Bro, remember the red button, push the button? The red button was a self-destruct button. That's what he pushed.
Meanwhile, whether it's in New York on the other coast, chilling and watching the party die. Like,
man, watching the party die.
Yeah,
he's such a sicko. Like, why do you even drop a song called "Watch the Party Die"? Like,
no, don't forget, bro. Black Forces was the cover for that. Beat up Black Forces.
Yeah, he's a sicko, man. Like, that guy's not mentally well. Drake didn't pick that one well. Like, should have won at Nick Mill or somebody. Like,
Drake got to learn from Floyd Mayweather, man. Pick your battles, bro.
Man, for sure. Floyd caught a straight right then, but it's okay. Floyd caught a mean straight.
Go. Love Floyd. TBE. But, Floyd knew.
Man. Mean straight. No, okay. Let me ask you this: if Floyd is Drake, who would have been Floyd's Kendrick that you think he ducked?
Manny Pacquiao for sure.
No, I think Floyd could have beat Pacquiao at any point. Honestly, probably closer to Prime Mosley. Floyd didn't fight Prime Mosley. He fought Mosley when he was older, and Mosley still caught him in the second round with that shot, almost dropped him.
Yeah, we beat him up after that.
Yeah, he did beat him up. But Mosley was a little older at that point. But like Prime Mosley, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You would have got a younger Floyd too. Now and we're gonna make caveats. What if we would have saw a different Floyd before them hands started breaking up?
Oh yeah. That would have been dangerous. But I mean, because the hands broke up, he just then became like the best defensive fighter of all time.
Boom. Okay, I can go for that. Go for that. Yeah, Floyd, we ain't mean it, man. We don't want to get no. We know the new thing is the new gangster is the paperwork. So hey, we ain't mean nothing by it. PMT, the money team.
TBE, the best ever.
Man, 40 Rolls Royces back to back. Ray J.
I was gonna ask y'all about y'all songs of the summer, y'all albums of the summer, but I feel like we could say that one for another day because it's still music dropping. And I know
what my favorite song this summer is.
What's your song of the summer?
That is.
Man, Pull Up, Zillionaire Doe.
I don't know if I heard that one.
Zillionaire Doe going crazy. Now, of course, I'm out here with the YN, so they put me down. So that's the one. You ever play like music for your parents or something like that? And you might be around with your parents and your mom and your dad be like, I like that one. I like what did he say? I like that one. That's how I was. I was like, I'm at a training. Shout out to Coach Step. It was me, Coach Step, Kobe Hudson played with the Panthers, and Javon Baker from the Patriots. Mm-hmm. So I'm at train. I got my son out there training, and he got the Zillionaire Doe going. And I hear a Mike Jones beat in the background. I'm like, okay, back then they didn't want me. I just hear a guy with a nice little bop. He talking some real young Jeezy, Yo Gotti, real trap talk. And he's from so I started asking questions. I found out he's from the New Dallas, which is a movement. The New Dallas is a thing. And they really putting on, flashing a lot of money on with some BMF type qualities, but some young guys. So Zillionaire Doe, Pull Up. That's my favorite song right now.
Damn, you just put me on.
So
yeah.
That's the bruh, the uncle. That's the bruh and the brunkle.
Okay. All right, big bro. We feel you.
For sure.
Ken, you got something in rotation?
Yeah, I really just been spinning the new Gunna for real. That's like probably been my main thing last week or so. When it gonna drop? Last week. So
yeah, last Friday. If you want a feature, just say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Gunna at this point, and I know we said we're gonna do the music another time, but with this album, and it's not even an album mainly of just like his typical hits. It's just like very good songs, like good music quality all the way through. Gunna, I feel like at this point has solidified himself in the starting five of rappers out. You got Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Future, and Gunna.
Yeah, I feel like if you had to pick one rapper per region of the country, so one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, obviously Drake is what he's doing, one in the South, one in the Midwest. What is Gunna representing the South right now?
Definitely.
Over Future?
Yeah,
I go Gunna right now. I go Gunna, man. Like
I'm saying right now.
Right now, at this very moment, yeah. At this very moment, I don't know if there's a hotter rapper out that's not in like the S tier of rappers, right? Like Drake, Kendrick, Cole. These people are like infinitely hot, right? They're just always going to be relevant. Once you get past that level, Gunna is the hottest rapper out.
And he dropped so consistently.
Male,
bro, you can literally
male rapper.
Male
rapper. Now we can talk about, obviously female rappers. I mean, Glorilla.
Glow? And who else?
I mean, Glow, Lotto, Meg, Doechii,
Cardi.
Man, none of them.
Cardi. What's old girl? Lululemon.
Pluto, YK.
Yeah, what is her name? Because she is
Whammy.
Yeah, nah, she's hot too. Pluto. Hot, like going crazy. So that movement is definitely going crazy too. Which I'm talking about male rappers though specifically. Yeah, Gunna is okay. I'm so wait till you get in there. Whoever that is, yeah. She hot too. So, but yeah, like Gunna is representing that, which I'm really interested to see if Young Thug drops. Cause
leave Gunna alone.
You want to talk about someone who need a feature.
That in the city. All right, so look, in the city they saying that's what they saying, right? That's who you talking to. So at the end of the day, it's like, bro, they trying to mix it in a little bit with Baby too. Like, hey, bro, like y'all boys is not hot right now, and I'm hot.
That's a fact. And look, at the end of the day, the legal stuff aside, at the end of the day, y'all rappers. And outside of Atlanta region, people really don't care like that. So y'all are rappers, rap. And let's get to the good music. So hopefully they come with something hard. But if you need a feature,
I mean, it's crazy to me because just looking at the situation as a whole, I'm like, I wonder why they going so hard on Gunna. And I'm a civilian. So at the end of the day, I dabble around, so I know a lot of people who know a lot about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I'm still a civilian. So I don't want to speak too much on it, but I just be wondering, like, if I'm just looking at that case from the outside in, and I look at everybody who took some type of plea in that case, Gunna, maybe I'm missing something, that. But of course, I'm not in that world. So, but when you just look at it from the outside looking, I'm like, hey, they're almost picking on bro. But, at the end of the day, Gunna was like, all right, well, I'm just make good music. And he just continues to make good music. And what's crazy? He can even, Gunna music is so good, he beats the whole every song sounds the same deal. Because they all sound the same a little bit, bro. Like that, they all in the same vibe. His last 3 albums.
That's what been my thing with Gunna when he was younger, was that like I couldn't get through an album because I literally just losing track of the songs. Like I don't even know what song, if a song was playing next. I'm like, it sounded like the last joint I just listened to. I did get a chance to kind of listen to this album today. Like I was just out walking my dog and was like, listen to it. I ain't really get through the whole album yet, but like first 4 or 5 tracks was going crazy. I couldn't even lie. And it's not my type of music either. Like, I could look at it objectively, but shit, like them first couple tracks was like, I was like, okay, I'm really gonna have to type into this.
If you want to like it, just say that.
Yeah.
It's hey, let me get through the album.
When we was up in Cleveland, I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for the new Gunna to drop. And Sammy was like, the Waka Flocka meme. It's like,
yeah.
All right.
Speaking of Waka Flocka, the album of the summer. Metro Boomin, a futuristic summer. Hosted by my little brother DJ Spins. Shout out Spins. Going crazy. I didn't see the album sales, but man, what an album for the city of Atlanta from a guy from St. Louis.
It was very disappointing to see like the larger hip hop community commenting on it, like, oh, I can't make the album and I this, that, and the third, whatever. It's like, bro, it's not for you, bro. If you've never heard Slap Bow Outside, then we can't speak about this album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about. If you ain't never heard $100 in a rubber band, $100 bill for my autograph outside, we can't speak on this album. Like, we just can't have a conversation about it.
I mean, look,
we gonna have
so I'm a blog era. I'm literally a blog era rapper.
You are.
When the blog rappers came out, I was one of the guys in Atlanta.
Talk.
At the end of the day, there's an air of arrogance and snobbery that goes along with people who don't really, that are just like, I mean, like, bro, like if you listen to, and no disrespect to nobody, man, but it's like if you listen to certain artists and you turn their music up in the club and you don't hear 808, you're not gonna like this album. Like you're like, if you don't want to go out and really dance sometimes or really, throw money in the air, this is not for you. And I think that's the sense of it. I think what was so good about it was Atlanta made something for Atlanta. And Metro said something that was really cool, that he said he wants music to get back regional because the internet has made things where everybody's trying to do the same thing. Bro, like, look, if Benny the Butcher's your favorite rapper, nothing against him. I like the Butcher. The Butcher coming. I get it. Bro, you're not going to like this. Like, Griselda sounds like 1990s old school, New York hip hop. It's Joey Badass type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
shit that you can get, and them dudes from Buffalo, which is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So but the album, I loved it, man. It was good. It was good to see Dro get some flowers again. J Money, his resurgence. You had Sean Paul with the verse of Atlanta Summer, bro. Oh, he wasn't on that album. Oh, that was on the Magic City album. Oh man,
Quavo dropped the 30 ball on the album as coming as the young voice.
Man, like, but I think the craziest part about it is when them dudes dropped, I was like 28. Like this whole futuristic movement, I was literally like in my 20s, like 25 to 29. Like 2008, I was turning 26.
I just missed the futuristic era going to Georgia. Like I came in 2013. That was when drill music first started to become popular. Like,
man.
Like that was like, my senior going into UGA. But like I wish I could have been at Georgia at the futuristic movement when it's like Travis Porter and Rich Kids and Roscoe Dash, like at their peaks. That would have just been.
I'll never forget my first moment. I was at DJ Spin's house. Travis Porter is there, and we're playing video games. And I'm like, y'all want to get on that Madden? I mean, nobody play Madden no more. We get on that 2K. I'm like, don't nobody play Madden no more. Are you serious? Nobody play no Madden, boy. Nobody know I know football for real, boy. You don't get on that 2K. I'm like, what is that? I thought I was doing something, but I had the game and everything. I'm like, y'all want to play the game? Like, why do I do that? First moment, I was like, okay. We'll play a little 2K.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. All right. First moment. It was then. I might have been about 29, 30 at the time. It was time. Yep.
Yeah.
2011, 2012. Yeah.
Like I said, we're gonna get into the music stuff. I feel like probably around that first week of September, we'll drop an episode just talking about like the music that dropped this summer. Because it's been a hell of a summer.
Sammy, what you been listening to?
Honestly, man, I'm on this Clips album. I'm still on this Clips album and this Freddie Gibbs Alfredo 2 joint with The Alchemist. Like that's been the thing that's really been in my ears.
You're definitely not gonna like a futuristic something.
No, but I was around during the futuristic era. I remember Stupid Fruity Swag futuristic era Atlanta. So like
But I'm saying you ain't gonna like this album.
Oh, I'm probably gonna mess with it. I ain't gonna lie. I got some duality to me now.
I like Gangsta Gibbs. I actually did a show with him before. Man, you know what I found yesterday, bro?
What?
A song with me and Big Crit over Guess Who's Back beat on everything, bro.
Link in the bio.
Yeah, we'll say
I went to go find it, bro. I promise.
Link in the description.
Yeah, it'll never come out.
I definitely need to hear that. Right. Big Crit's one of my favorite rappers.
For sure.
So I found
since high school. So yeah, we need that.
Yeah, shout out to Crit, man. But now, like, just being older and realizing how many of the songs that are being sampled now, I still remember like they just came out is crazy. Like also ATL being on Crime Mob, rock my hips, rock your hips.
Yeah.
I'm like, these kids got no idea. Like they probably know you know what I mean? Like, but it's just like good, but good music is timeless, I guess. So that was a hell of a beat. But I'm like, damn, all the new songs are like remakes.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna put too much of a damper on the new generation of producers, but some of y'all gotta get a little better with flipping these samples, bro. Like sometimes I just hear the sample and I just want to hear the original. Like I want to hear the original joint.
Yeah. It's really about like jacking for beats, bro. That's all it really is. Like just throwing another bass line on it and boop, got it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I said, we're gonna tap into the music thing.
Man, I just ask you, like, do you think Freddie Gibbs? Now I did read about him and Currency beefing a little bit. Do you think Currency owed Freddie Gibbs more for the album that he was saying that he didn't help on? Was it what was the previous one?
I know
Fetty? Alfredo
2 is this album.
So whatever it was, they had like a food reference album with Currency and Freddie Gibbs, and Freddie Gibbs was like mad that Currency, basically he was just like, man, F Currency, try to treat me like a second-rate rapper, I guess, in so many words. But man, Matt, let's say that for the next one, because Freddie Gibbs is a very pointed individual. I think he's a cool cat. I met him a few times, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing we're gonna have to talk about. Another thing we probably gonna talk about later on, not in this episode, but in another one. We're probably gonna do a whole preview of the college football and NFL seasons coming up, because like we in preseason now. But I still kind of want to talk football with y'all. So I wanted to do this PTI game, with a little nod to Pardon the Interruption. I'm gonna bring up some topics just across college football and NFL. I'm gonna put a timer on. We got 3 minutes to talk about them. We each get one extension for a conversation. If y'all feel like y'all want to talk about one a little bit more, we get one extension. So we'll start in college football if that's good with y'all.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. First up, Kenny, I'm gonna go to you first because Todd Simpson got the job at Alabama. Kind of what should we be expecting from him as Bama's starting quarterback, and what are the expectations for Alabama this year?
Yeah, I think with Ty Simpson is really just about can he be Will Howard from Ohio State last year, right? Like Will Howard was solid. Will Howard was an impact player, but he wasn't like an elite quarterback or somebody that we saw in the Heisman race. I believe he was a 6th-round pick with the Steelers, but he did what he needed to do. Can Ty Simpson just do that, right? They have Orion Williams, they have Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton. They have a good receiving core. I think the offense is going to be a little bit better this year. They brought Ryan Grubb in as the offensive coordinator. So I expect Ty Simpson to be solid. I don't know exactly how long the leash is, to be honest, but I do think it was a good move for the board to lock this down and, put it into it ahead of the Florida State game. So I think for Alabama's offense, we can expect them to be probably like top 15, top 20 in the country. I think for Ty Simpson, if he can just be, again, like Will Howard and just go out there and take care of the ball and be solid, then we're going to be looking at Alabama as an SEC championship contender and a playoff contender.
Dukes, how you feel about Ty Simpson winning the job?
I feel like it says something about being able to be developed in the microwave world where everybody wants it now, and if you don't play immediately, then you're out of the door. You're looking to transfer. I think he waited his time, bided his time behind quarterbacks who he should have been able to learn from. I think it says a lot about his talent level when you bring in immensely talented guys like a Keelan Russell who has every tool in the book that you could ask for in a quarterback. I think that Ty Simpson still being the best quarterback in the eyes of Kalen DeBoer says a lot about him. And I think winning that competition early will actually help him when you get into the meat of that SEC schedule because we've seen adversity. I don't think a lot of people thought that he would be the guy coming out. I think a lot of people thought the 5-star freshman would have been who ended up being like the number 2 quarterback in the country behind Bryce Underwood. So I think for him to be able to battle it out, to gain the trust of his teammates, and that's another thing that we don't talk about as much when we talk about guys winning competitions, is the trust of your teammates and do your teammates think you can win. So I think that he did a good job of being able to win over the team and the coaching staff, and now I'm looking forward to see what he does this season.
Last word on this, and this for both of y'all, just a quick word. Like, how long will the leash be for Ty Simpson?
September. He's got until September. Didn't they play Georgia the last week of September? It might be the 3rd Saturday in September, but he has the month of September to solidify it. And if they're in a situation where they're 3-1, the offense has been sputtering, there's an opportunity to make a move there. So I think in the month of September is when he'll have his opportunity to lock this down, or we might reopen it.
All right, 15 seconds, dude. How long is the leash?
The first game that Ryan Williams has under 5 catches.
He had quite a few of those last year. That was like that was a point of contention for some Bama fans. The passing game really faded towards the end of last season. So that's well stated. Get him the ball. Hey, Will Howard, Jeremiah Smith. You saw how that went.
Right.
Get your playmaker the ball.
All right, moving on. The AP preseason poll came out. The top 10 are as followed: Texas at 1, Penn State at 2, Ohio State 3, Clemson 4, Georgia 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Alabama at 8, LSU at 9, and Miami at 10. Any surprises in the top 25? Anything you guys disagree with? Deuce, I'm gonna start with you.
I think this is the most wide open season we've seen in a long time. I don't see a singular juggernaut. I don't see anyone where you think there's like they're gonna go undefeated and they're gonna beat everybody. I think everyone in that top 10 has an opportunity. Everyone has strong rosters in that top 10, but they also have deficiencies. I think probably the best roster on paper is probably Texas, but you still don't have the complete confidence of a returning starting quarterback. So I think we still don't know what Arch Manning is. I think we'll find out very soon. But at the same time, I just even your number 1 team that doesn't just make you feel like they'll just run the table. So there, as every year, there'll be new stars, but I just don't think this year has that juggernaut, and I think that it will be a wide open year. Playoffs should be fun.
Yeah, there are several teams that I think are too low. Some that I think are too high. I think Clemson is too low at 4. They probably have the least questions of any team in the country. When you really think about it, I mean, Texas has a question at quarterback. They lost a lot of talent. Penn State, we have no idea what's going on with their receiving core. Ohio State, new quarterback. Georgia, we don't know what's going on with the offense. They're going to be able to rush the passer. Notre Dame, new quarterback. Oregon, new quarterback. Alabama, new quarterback. LSU, defense. Miami, new quarterback, defense. Clemson, I mean, what's their question mark?
Running back.
You said what?
Running back.
Okay, but yes, but Adam Randall is, a former 5-star recruit. They're converting him from receiver. I think that there are ways that you can circumvent a running game, with short pass game. But if we're talking about that as Clemson's like really big question mark, I would take that over quarterback or defense, or are we going to be able to hit explosive plays? Easiest conference, some of the most returning talent. Like I said, I feel like they have the fewest question marks. So I feel like they're too low. I think Alabama's too low. I think they're going to have the best defense in the country. That alone should put them a little bit higher on the list. Oregon, 7 feels high. First time that they're not going to have a 4-year starter at quarterback, right? Like they started with Bo Nix, then they got Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma. Now they're bringing in their own quarterback for the first time. What's that development going to look like? They've had poor injury luck. One of their main receivers, Jarian Dickey, has just been suspended indefinitely. I know that was after these posts came out, but Oregon, a little bit more questions than I think, 7 is pretty high for them. Miami, probably the biggest boom or bust team in the country. 10 also feels high. Carson Beck health. We have no idea what's going on defense. They lost a lot at the receiving core, new group. So they're, as you can see, I got some strong opinions on this, but and that's my timer. So I would like to request an extension for Duke to respond, and then maybe we can go back and forth. For you got some thoughts, Sammy, you can give those as well.
Yeah, Dukes, go ahead. Any responses there?
I would say I think Oregon actually can be better. They have a more athletic, a more talent. I think Dante Moore is more talented than Dylan Gabriel. So I think Oregon, based on that notion that Dante Moore was willing to go sit, he had a year to learn after playing the way he did as a true freshman. I now that makes Oregon even more dangerous with their weapons. So, and I think Dickey, Dickey got suspended, but I think he was a guy that he still didn't have the full trust of the offense anyway, or the coach staff anyway. And nobody gets suspended indefinitely without doing a bunch of stuff ahead of time. So at the end of the day, without knowing the situation wholly, I think they'll be able to circumvent that whole situation and still be worthy of that 7 ranking. When you look at the way that they've been recruiting the last 2 years, just same way you talked about Clemson having 5-star, Oregon has a former 5-star running back now, and they brought in Gideon Davison, who has a ton of potential. I think at the same token, Oregon has 5 stars at the 5-star that they've been recruiting well. So I think it's the new names that we just have to come. I think in college football, familiarity is the most overrated, I guess, trait in a lot of college football teams, because every year a new star is born. So as long as you've got pedigree, you've got a chance. So I think Oregon probably is good at 7.
Yeah, I mean, Texas got the big question mark at quarterback. How good is Arch Manning really going to be? For me, I think Penn State probably should have entered this as the number 1 team in the country. They got the most experienced offensive line in the country coming back. They got really six guys up front. One who's just waiting in the wings, who can really like play. And then they're returning Drew Aller. They got that team that finished top 5 in the country last year. I think they're going to be really good. LSU obviously is another team. There's question marks on the defense, but as far as talent goes, they have one of the most talented rosters in the country. I think their big question mark really is Brian Kelly, to be completely with you.
That is a prime agenda game week 1 in Death Valley. You got Cade versus Nust. You got Dabo's old way against Brian Kelly, and that's going to be a great narrative shifting game week 1.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm surprised. I think Georgia being at 5 is just a testament to how much respect Kirby Smart garners because of the questions around the offense and the quarterback. Like, we don't really want to Stockton, as Kenny calls him. We don't really know how good he's going to be. And honestly, I've never been a huge fan of Mike Bobo. We had this conversation last weekend, just like about how Mike Bobo ended up even came back to Georgia. We don't know how that happened. because the first go around, people were pissed off at Mike Bobo, and I haven't seen anything to kind of quell those fears either. So Georgia being at 5 is a little surprising to me. Yeah. But if I'm looking at this top 10, Penn State would be my number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, no, you definitely are right about Georgia because offensively last year, Georgia couldn't pass, run, or block. Somehow still win the SEC, which was pretty incredible. So you are right. I think it's just a tip to the cap of Kirby of being the best coach in the sport because it's a really young team, talented team, but definitely a lot of question marks.
For sure. All right, moving on. AP dropped their all-time All-America first team. To qualify, a player must have been first team All-American at least once in their career. Don't know if you guys had a chance to check out who made that team or not, but just want to get y'all's first reactions.
I gotta pull the team up. Hold on.
Okay. I'm looking at this list. Wow. It's like funny when you look at a list like this because it's like Randy Moss, 97, John Hanna, 72, Chuck Bignard, 1948, Brock Bowers, 2023.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the one that stands out, you got Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald as your 2 receivers, but then you have like a whole bunch of Heisman winning receivers who don't make this list, like Devontae Smith, obviously winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow just edged out Vince Young for that quarterback spot, but obviously you can make the argument for Cam Newton as well.
Oh, he finna go off.
Oh yeah.
Cam finna go off.
I feel like Tebow is a fair selection though. If we're talking about multiple years, right? Like, the championships, the Heisman dominance, records broken. I feel like that's a deserved honor.
Surprisingly, he only was first team All-American one time, and that was 2007.
Quarterbacks were going crazy back then. I mean, you had Tebow, you had Sam Bradford. I feel like I'm blanking. Matt Stafford.
Was Cole Brennan around that time too?
Cole Brennan.
Yeah.
Like, bro, see, this is why I got a problem with some of these lists, bro. Nobody on this list saw Bronco Nagurski play, bro. Not one person. The man was an All-American in 1929. No disrespect to Bronco Nagurski, but we got to do something to kind of put, like, dog.
Well, I will say
it wasn't even the same then.
I'll say this. One of the mandates for voting for the list was that you can't have too much recency bias, but only 3 players that played before 1970 made the list. Obviously, Bronco Nagurski being one. So it's not too many of those names that people didn't see play.
It's just funny to see like Ndamukong Suh in 2009 and then Nagurski in 1929.
Like, bro.
Imagine that tandem. Like, how much did Bronco Nagurski weigh in 1929?
And that man was probably like a 197-pound monster. It was like, this guy's he's huge.
He was probably killing these dudes, man.
Yeah, man, like 190. And look, no disrespect to Bronco Nagurski. It was just a different time. I just think they should maybe you split it, right? Maybe you say, okay, you got your legacy picks. All-Americans.
Like modern era and like
boom.
Before black players were allowed to play D1 and post where black players were allowed to play D1. Like,
I was thinking the same thing, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, not one person. I've never seen a Bronco Nagurski highlight and knew it.
I don't know if 1929 you might be pressed to find Bronco Nagurski highlight.
That boy right on time.
We're going to have to table that to see if we can find something.
All right, moving on to the NFL. Shedeur Sanders had a hell of a preseason game last week. Kind of sparked some conversations about the Browns and how they're dealing with their quarterback battle. And then, all the injuries with the Browns quarterbacks already, and now he has an oblique injury. Just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on Shedeur and how the Browns are handling this. I'm gonna go to Bronco first.
Man, look, the Browns, man. I mean, y'all just left up there. Cleveland is a different kind of city, man. He had a different kind of team. I don't know. I feel like you get a gift in the 5th round, and you immediately just try to give it back. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's like getting free money and being like, I don't want to spend this kind of money. Like it's like somebody giving you $1 million, but they say I'm gonna give it to you in 20s. You're like, I only like 100s. All right, bro, you just got 100. You just got $1 million. You gonna care how it looks and the package that it came in. And I think that's the case with the Browns. If you look at what Shedeur did last week in the preseason game, you would think that would elevate him somewhat on the depth chart based on the fact that he has more data about him in live settings because he did it against another team. But that had no bearing on the depth chart, even just to give him the confidence of going 3. Based on what? He was drafted 5th and 3rd. It would be different if it was a 1st and a 5th. It's totally different. But a 3rd and a 5th round pick, you give that much deference to Dillon Gabriel, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But at the end of the day, you got to consider the source too. So it's not like Cleveland has a great history or a rich history of selecting the right quarterback. If you look at even at their recent history, they just had the number 1 pick not too long ago. They get Baker Mayfield, and they just basically became a training ground for him. I guess his 7th year of eligibility went to Cleveland, and then he goes to the actual draft and becomes an NFL quarterback in Tampa Bay. I think that says more about Cleveland than it does Tampa. So, man, shout out to the Browns, man. Hopefully they can keep that going, and Shedeur can find a great place for him. But there's no reason for him not to be the guy in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that a move on the depth chart, at least at 3, like you said, should have been warranted just off of the point that one guy didn't play, right, and another guy did play. And he had a strong performance, right? Like he wasn't getting carried out there. It wasn't, a 3-0 rock fight. They were scoring touchdowns, right? They were moving the ball. He was making throws. So I think a move to 3 is warranted. You do wonder about just kind of the outside pressure and the forces that be are kind of like making the Browns wary of making a move one way or another. I think they're maybe a little wary of the media circus, which sounds crazy for a franchise that signed Deshaun Watson and today signed Isaiah Bond, which is also a whole nother topic in and of itself. But
shout out to Bond.
Hey, look, shout out to him. No, he's not getting formally charged. He's going to get an opportunity to play in the league. So shout out to him, and hopefully he does well. But the point is that Cleveland has a knack for controversy and for being in headlines and sometimes mismanaging certain situations. So be really interesting to see what happens in preseason game number 2, but I think I speak for all of us when it's like, last thing I'll say is like watching Shadeur is just like, it was just a proud moment for like all of us, right? Like just getting a chance to like actually just go out and see him ball, like love him, hate him, whatever, like that had to just do something to you to watch him go out there and do well. And whoever the cameraman was that panned to a black person every time he made a good play, shout out to you, because that's how we was feeling watching it on our TVs. Like they were just in the stands, like doing what we were doing at home.
Throw something on the grill.
Right. Yeah, I ain't never seen so many black people watch a Cleveland Browns game. So shout out to Shadeur. He played well. I'll just say one thing on this before we move on. I think a big part of why Dillon Gabriel is still 3 on the depth charts because that third round pick is really valuable in the NFL, and no GM wants to admit that they wasted a 3rd round pick on the quarterback. Like. That's especially a GM kind of in a lame duck situation right now with Cleveland anyway. They're already a little bit on the hot seat. Like nobody really wants to admit that. That's kind of a death knell in your career if you're admitting that first week of preseason that he's not at least the 3rd quarterback on your depth chart.
Yeah, but shoot, man, would you rather do that? You gonna die on that hill?
I'm about to say, yeah. Well, like the thing about it is like, yeah, that might hurt your stock, but what really hurts your stock? Losing.
They gonna do that anyway. So,
but here's the thing though. If you lose with Shadeur, it's gonna feel like something though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of sports, and like I'm like joking, but I'm being somewhat serious. Like in sports, a lot of it is just a vibe. How does it make you feel, right? Like going back to college, Florida was 7-5 last year. Not a great year, but when DJ Lagway was out there balling, it made you feel something. Therefore, Billy Napier was able to keep his job. So yeah, they might go 3-14 regardless, but with Shadeur is going to feel like something, and that is worth something.
Right. Okay. I'll give you that. So,
but real, are they 3-14?
They probably They're probably like a 6-11 team for real.
Like also right, exactly. Like, were they 3-14 with competent quarterback play? Like last year, like they didn't get anything from the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And a decent running game. Like last year, yeah, no disrespect to Jerome Ford. I think he's a great back, but going from prime Nick Chubb the year previously to Jerome Ford, it's a little bit of a letdown in production. And I think he's better as a 2, where he can, change a pace type guy. So when you look at what Cleveland was saying, okay, we'll go get the young guy, Quinshon Judkins. You got Jerry Jeudy out there. Now you supplement that with a speed guy. I think they got some pieces where you could be better if you had a competent quarterback play. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. The Athletic did a survey speaking to over 50 NFL coaches and executives to rank quarterbacks in the league. Jalen Hurts, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, was part of Tier 2, tied for 9th in that ranking. This comes after ESPN also did a similar survey earlier this summer where he was also ranked 9th. Kenny, I know you are the Eagles fan here. Just your reaction on just how Jalen Hurts is being viewed by executives around the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think because he was in the 2nd tier. I feel like that's fair, right? Like you have obviously like kind of like the core 4 of quarterbacks. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Jackson. These are franchise changers. These are game changers. These are the elite throwers, processors, leaders, et cetera, et cetera. And then who's in that next tier? I feel like Jalen Hurts deserves to be in that tier, right? Like there have been limitations.
Let me stop you real quick, though, because these are ranked as well. So it's not that he's just in the next tier. It's about who's ranked ahead of him.
Who's ranked ahead of him in the 2nd tier?
So the Tier 1 quarterbacks, you said the core 4, but also joining them in Tier 1 is Matthew Stafford. Right. Tier 2, Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, and then CJ Stroud is tied for 9th with Jalen Hurts.
I feel like that is fair. I do feel like, though, there is some selective criteria where it's like winning matters. In some cases, winning doesn't matter. In other cases where Jalen Hurts, who has been in the last 2 or 3 years, probably the best quarterback at playing in the playoffs, period. If you just look at what he did this past year with the Philadelphia, outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl that they lost. He's an awesome postseason performer, and his team is winning. But he gets penalized for that because the Eagles are so good. Whereas you have somebody like Justin Herbert who has won nothing, but he's in this tier because
he's 6'5" with a big
right. Like it's just again vibes. Vibes mean so much when we're talking about sports. It feels good, right? It's like Justin Herbert's out there. He's super athletic. He can make all these throws and and we're just going to continue to blame Anthony Lynn for all the reasons why that the Chargers haven't been very good.
Dare we say quarterbacky?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, again, Jared Goff, right? Like when he was in LA, he was propped up by Sean McVay. That was his narrative, right? Oh, it's all Sean McVay and Todd Gurley, and look at all these people around him. And Jared Goff is, they are reading his lines. And then he goes to Detroit. And who does he have in Detroit? Ben Johnson and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell. They have this awesome offense with all these awesome pieces. But now he gets to be in the 2nd tier ahead of Jalen Hurts, right? But he's not getting a lot of players and great.
Did you say Jared Goff?
Yeah, Jared Goff is number 8 on this list.
Okay. I was about to say, I thought he missed. Okay.
Yeah. So, some of these things matter in some cases, and it doesn't matter in others. So I think there's some inconsistency, but I think Jalen Hurts is a tier 2 quarterback in the NFL. I feel like that's definitely fair. So I'm not mad at it in general, but I do think that we pick and choose when we talk about quarterbacks and how we decide to view them.
I'm going to request an extension on this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the timer. 1, because, Dukes ain't really get his take in, but 2, because I got a lot to say. So Dukes, I'm going to go ahead and let you
go. I mean, if you count the Super Bowl, yeah, I think Jalen Hurts could do more in a different offense. I just think he don't have to do a whole lot more. He's doing what it takes to win. I think if you see him in more, if you say, okay, Jalen Hurts, we want you to get the ball out faster. If you switch Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts, and you asked, and I don't think either team is as successful as they are with the guys that they have right now. And so I think the Eagles would be good, but he doesn't do the same thing. Do you want to run tush push with Joe Burrow? Like, I mean, it's like, and then when you get into the red zone, the read option, the RPO things that Jalen Hurts can do that makes Philadelphia so dangerous in that spot when you're able to add pieces like Saquon, who's now they want to talk about how good Saquon is, but this is after the fact because a lot of teams could have had a Saquon. So like let's not just go and just act like, oh my God, he got Herschel Walker in his prime. Y'all had a chance. So don't penalize him or don't penalize Howie Roseman just for doing what he's supposed to do. So I think that Jalen Hurts could be a little higher because he does have a Super Bowl ring and he's been to the Super Bowl twice. It's something to be said for that. He does what he's supposed to do. I think he may be penalized by the talent around him and the system, which works.
Yeah, I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. If it was up to me, if I was ranking this list, he would be in tier 1. He'd be that 5th quarterback in tier 1 because there's really no substitution for being a winner. Like, dude just wins. He's made the playoffs. He's been in the Super Bowl twice in the last 3 years. He's outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both of those Super Bowl games. Like, I get that we have Matt Stafford who has the big arm and can make every throw, but like Matt Stafford also had a big chunk of his career in Detroit where, like, our boy Rob Parker used to call him Stat Patford. Like, there would be a lot of games that Detroit wasn't in, and then Matt Stafford gets to throw the ball a million times at the end of the game, and now all of a sudden he got 5,000 yards. Like, Matt Stafford has played terribly in playoff games. He's got the Super Bowl now, so now we're calling him a Hall of Famer. But I don't think, like, in the year 2025 going into this year, I'm taking Matt Stafford over Jalen Hurts after what I just saw him do in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels, we're going into year 2. Year 2 it is. We don't really know if you're a real NFL quarterback until year 2 because that team's got tape on you. So it's really going to be interesting to see how he responds to teams having film and being able to exploit his weaknesses on the field. The idea of Justin Herbert has always been better than Justin Herbert. Like, we're going into year 6, year 7 of Justin Herbert, and he still hasn't won a playoff game yet. And he played terribly last year in the playoffs.
He's already got a built-in excuse because Rashawn Slater is out for the year. So just prepare yourself for that one. As if the Chargers don't live into expectations.
Right. It was Brandon Staley and Anthony Lynn, and now it's because Rashawn Slater's down. Like, it's all of these things that why Justin Herbert can't win. But the reality of the situation is that he hasn't played well. Jared Goff did not play better than Jalen Hurts when it mattered. And CJ Stroud had a down year last year. So I don't even know how we're in that conversation either. I just am tired of the disrespect coming from Jalen Hurts from all over the place, whether it be from coaches and GMs and analysts or Cam Newton, frankly, who may be better than Jalen Hurts, might have been better than Cam Newton was. Like, if we being real, like, and that's something that brings me to my next thing that I really want to talk about, because I feel like that might be a hot take, but like, I want to play a little game of would you rather with Cam Newton, since he was the one who was talking a lot about Jalen Hurts. Like, are there some quarterbacks that we would be taking over Cam Newton if given a choice? Bronco, I know that's your guy, but I mean, my first would you rather Cam Newton edition, Cam Newton or Jalen Hurts, who y'all taking?
To win a game tomorrow in their primes?
We're not talking. I don't want you to overthink it. I'm just talking strictly careers, talent, like Jalen Hurts, Cam Newton.
MVP Cam.
That's 1 year Cam. Cam played a long time in the league.
In the Eagles, okay, in the Eagles offense, I probably take Cam.
Jalen Hurts, Cam Newton.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts because his floor is much higher than Cam Newton's. Now, at apexes, Cam Newton is obviously superior to Jalen Hurts, right? Like 2015 Cam, superior to probably any version of what we're gonna see of Jalen Hurts in the NFL, because that would mean Jalen Hurts will win an MVP. He's probably not gonna win an MVP. But if we're just talking about for a season, like totality year over year of who all won as a starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts is far more consistent than Cam Newton. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. But if we're just talking about apexes, like who is like better at their peaks, obviously Cam Newton. But we're talking about who I want as my franchise quarterback, just year over year, probably Jalen Hurts.
And look, I just want you to know, like, even though he went to Auburn, he's from College Park, like, there's a lot of stuff I disagree with Cam and, like, you know, how he does stuff. But you can't take the fact that he's a 6'6" quarterback with a cannon for an arm, and for a long time we thought Josh Allen was Cam Newton, and then something went off in Josh Allen where he got his accuracy under control and he started completing more passes. And I think that's just where, the accuracy is where you saw where I would say that Jalen Hurts has been better. I think he's been a lot more accurate. But I just think in that Philadelphia Eagles offense, the RPO, the players, I couldn't imagine having Cam Newton in that offense where with those weapons, with Saquon Barkley, where you had to respect that. Cam Newton running tush push. Like that's, I mean, if they 99%, if they 99% right now, they'll be 110 with Cam Newton doing it. I mean, he's just 6'6", bro. Like you can't get around that.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is that when it comes to throwing the football, like you said, the accuracy things, like Jalen Hurts is obviously the guy that you would rather take in that situation. But then it's also just like managing personalities on the roster. And it has something to be said about just the leadership that Jalen Hurts is able to show year in and year out. The maturity that he shows when he steps on the field and behind the podium, because all three of us know that when it comes to quarterbacks and the way that you respond to the media, especially the Philadelphia media at that, like it takes a different type of person to be able to step behind the podium in Philadelphia and handle the things that Jalen Hurts has been able to handle. And not for nothing, I'm not sure that the Eagles head coach, Nick Sirianni, gets a ton of respect around the league as a coach. And like, is Cam going to be the adult in the room when they need an adult in the room? Because far too often, Nick Sirianni is not that. So I think all of those factors kind of play into why I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Cam Newton in that situation.
And you told me not to overthink it.
I mean, you was talking about I'm talking about you was like, yo, one game for my life. Like, nah.
I said, can I pick MVP Cam? I said in their prime.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking
best
about
of the best
career. But you also prefaced it by saying like, in the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Well, shit, if we talking about that, then like all of these things do come into play.
All right, that's fair.
And that's not the only one now, because I'm thinking about all of these quarterbacks that played over the course of Cam's career. So Cam, Matt Stafford, who you taking? Would you rather?
That's a tough one. Me, I don't know. You go, Ken.
I'm gonna go with Cam Newton. I'm gonna go with Cam Newton over Matt Stafford. I don't even know if I have the numbers to back this up, but it just feels like Cam Newton is more of a winner than Matt Stafford is.
Despite the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, I mean, Cam Newton never had, Sean McVay later in his career and et cetera, et cetera. But when they were both like the franchise quarterback for, I guess, like struggling franchises and what they took over, I feel like Cam elevated the Panthers to a much higher level than what Matt Stafford did with the Lions. Like Matt Stafford did get his second renaissance with Sean McVay. If Cam Newton would have had an offensive genius head coach like that, like a Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Andy Reid, somebody like that, to accentuate what he did, or maybe like help recreate him, maybe things could have gone a little different later in his career. But just like for the main stints of what they were, I know Matt Stafford probably has better numbers, but I just felt like Cam was more of a team elevator. So for that reason, I'm going with Cam Newton.
Yeah, I just can't imagine Cam Newton being able to throw to Calvin Johnson at the beginning of his career, right? Like, ain't no way. Like, just roll out and throw it. Like, just think about playing Madden.
Like, Calvin Johnson and Kelvin Benjamin is like when Ant Edwards was like, yeah, they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels.
yeah.
No disrespect to Jalen McDaniels because he can hoop, but like, that's what that's like. It's like, yeah, we got, can we go play with Megatron? We got Megatron at the house.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man, it's different, man. Like, and you think about it, like, and he got prime Calvin Johnson. So, and didn't do nothing with it. And I'm not saying that the roster was there, but I think if you would have gave that to Cam, I just think the threat of having like a Megatron and Cam Newton's ability to run at the time, especially when he had fresh legs, I think, yeah, you can give me Cam Newton.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with either one of y'all on that. I'll probably take Cam over Matt Stafford too. I think the late renaissance of Matt Stafford has kind of elevated the way that we talk about him. We kind of forget some of the shortcomings in those Detroit years. I'll probably take Cam over Matt Stafford. A couple more.
I mean, I think a lot of times, man, I think Cam Newton's legacy gets jaded by his outspoken personality. And I think I think people just kind of see Cam like he's not as likable as he was with his helmet on. And I think that's part of the reason why people disrespect his career, because it's like he will get in an argument with Gilly the Kid. Can you imagine Jalen Hurts after he's retired, like going at Gilly the Kid the way Cam Newton did? No, but that's what he wants and that's who he is. So you can't be mad at that at all. But I just think that does have a way, nobody really talks about T.O. the way they should because of some of his antics. And none of them were illegal. He didn't do nothing illegal. People just, didn't really rock with him. So at the end of the day, I think people like Cam Newton, but not as many people as probably. I think these arguments would be made easier in Cam's favor if he wasn't so polarizing as a person.
Vibes.
A lot of it is vibes, but a lot of it is like living off that 2015 year too. It's like outside of that 2015 year, we saw glimpses of how great Cam Newton could be, but he never could really put it together the way that he did in that magical run. And it's the way that season ended as well. Like the ball coming out and Cam not jumping on the pile, like not jumping on the ball, trying to protect himself in that moment, and them subsequently losing that game. Like I think a lot of that kind of factors into the way that we kind of see Cam as a player. That's not to say that he's not talented. It's just to say that like there are some over the last 25 years, probably since the year 2000, there probably are like some 20 quarterbacks that you can legitimately argue are better than Cam Newton.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm yeah, you're right. But I just got to make sure we still put the respect on his name, whether people like him or not. That's all I'm at.
For sure. And there's a lot of guys who I was going to ask y'all about in this Would You Rather where like kind of fall into that same category. It may not be as likable, but like let's really think about the talent. Like stacking them side by side, like are they better than Cam Newton? Are you starting your franchise with this guy or Cam Newton?
It ain't a whole lot of them that ain't just like markedly better than Cam Newton. I would have took. I do think he was affected by his situation. Like the Panthers consistently get the number one pick. That's when teams get a lot of number one overall picks, especially when there's not a lottery. That says more about the team than it does about the players.
Yeah, situation, and then like the TJ Watt hit is like really like a career, not a career ender because he did play after that, but a career altering hit injury for sure that took years off of his career.
Which kind of brings me to the next guy that I wanted to bring up, a guy whose career ended early. We talked about this before, but like Cam Newton or Andrew Luck.
I'm gonna go with Andrew Luck again. Franchise elevator winner, consistently in the playoffs, was in the elite conversation comfortably consecutive years, right? Like year over year, he was amongst that group. So for consistency, franchise elevation, and being considered amongst the elite for a consecutive number of years, I'm going to go with Andrew Luck, but it is close.
Yeah, I go Luck just based on I always just was in awe of the fact that nobody would ever think that Andrew Luck and Cam Newton ran about the same 40. And they did.
Yeah.
Freak athlete. So IQ off the charts, freak athlete. Andrew Luck, unproblematic as hell. Just like look, I hate the word quarterbacky, but it don't get no more quarterbacky than Andrew Luck. He's like the prototype quarterback that we grew up thinking, and I hate to say it like that, but it's true. Now, I wouldn't take Andrew Luck over Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson is that dynamic. But yeah, I think Andrew Luck was a really, really good quarterback.
I think similar to Cam, Andrew Luck's situation was awful. Like the offensive line, the run game wasn't there. Didn't really have terrific receivers this entire time in Indianapolis. He was the offense. And like, I would love to see an Andrew Luck in sort of a situation in which Lamar Jackson is, where he has an offensive coordinator and Todd Monken that can really elevate what he does well. Because honestly, Andrew Luck in Andrew Luck with a competent franchise is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he really had no weaknesses as a quarterback. His weakness was getting hit too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because that offensive line was so bad.
Yeah, he was like, hey, Andrew Luck was like, hey, man, you know what? I'm straight on this, bro. Like, right before the season, he was like, hey, man, you know what?
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
need it.
Hey, but I'm good. Hey, listen.
My liberal. I graduated from Stanford. I'm gonna be all right.
Right.
I'm okay.
I can't I wanted to, you know,
Like, bro, like he was just like, no, I'm straight on this. Like, he probably got hit one time. Like, man, I wonder what the straw that broke the camel's back was. Like, I would love to talk to Andrew Luck and be like, hey, bro, like, did you get hit in practice? And like, can you imagine like him taking a lick in practice from like a defensive end, knowing that the right tackle or the left tackle just like olayed, and he was like, bro, this nigga's so sorry, bro. You know what? I ain't doing this no more. Like, they're like, no, Andrew, come in. Like, no. Like, I would love to see like a black Andrew Luck and see like and have him go on a podcast and just tell his story. Like, we have the great way of being storytellers at times. But man, shout out to Andrew Luck, man. Gone too soon as a quarterback.
I think he was just tired of rehabbing, man. Like, he was hurt at the end of every year. It was some major injury. He was always having a rehab. He was like, bro, I'm just tired of always having to get better. like I can't even be a good quarterback. Like, every offseason I'm having some sort of surgery.
Bro, he probably called Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders probably like, hey, buddy, don't even worry about it. Nope.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson too. Like,
got time for this shit, man. Well, I could just like you see Calvin Johnson just like getting mad at practice one day, mossing 3 people and be like, I ain't doing this. Man, like, what do you do?
Who was it that walked out? Was it Vontae Davis who retired?
Oh man,
yeah.
Man, bless his soul.
Vontae Davis, man.
Yeah, bless his soul. But he was like, yeah, bro, I'm straight on this. Antonio Brown, he did it a different kind of way. Yeah. Antonio Brown, a wildest dude in history. Man, what's up with that dude, man? Like, man, got Antonio Brown, man.
All right, man.
I knew something was wrong with him when he caught that touchdown and started twerking that day. When he caught that touchdown at the beginning of the season, it started twerking. I said, something wrong with Antonio Brown, bro. I knew it, bro.
I knew something was wrong with him when he super kicked that.
Right, yeah.
when he's Seth Rollins, this punter, bro, like for no reason.
Through his chest, like what are you doing? Hey man, this dude crazy.
Shout out I ain't trying to be nigga of the day, so I ain't gonna go too hard on that.
I ain't tripping, man. Put PTSO. That song actually was hard too.
Yeah. It was a follow touchdown dance for a minute. This was like going crazy for a minute.
Yeah, it was.
Low key. All right, couple more guys. Donovan McNabb, Cam Newton.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go very similar.
I'm giving a couple more. Like, the next two are gonna be very similar quarterbacks to Cam.
I go Cam because he never had nobody like T.O. and I love Steve Smith.
Donovan had a year and a half of T.O. though.
Is a year and a half more than Cam Newton had.
A year of T.O.
Yeah, it's more than Cam had.
I'm gonna go with Cam Newton. I think probably a little bit more durable, like during the prime of his career. I know he had the injury late, but McNabb had some injury riddled seasons there in the middle. Probably more like consistent than Cam Newton year over year, but I would take Cam.
I think Cam's ceiling is so much higher than McNabb's floor, even though McNabb's floor is higher. McNabb had a higher floor, but Cam had the higher ceiling. So yeah, I'll go with Cam.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the numbers here. 6-time Pro Bowler, 213 passing touchdowns, 37,000 yards. Obviously went to a Super Bowl and 4 NFC championships with Andy Reid. So that says something. It's tough. I might lean towards Donovan McNabb just as a passer. Talk about arms. It really don't get much of a stronger arm than Donovan McNabb. over the course of NFL history, you talk about receivers who used to say that McNabb used to kill their hands. Like, you'd be the imprint of a football in their hands when McNabb threw you the ball. Cam's ceiling is higher than McNabb's, but I don't think McNabb's floor is all that low. I mean, I don't think McNabb's ceiling is all that low. I meant to say. I mean, he did lead the NFL twice in total offense in 05 and 06, and I'm just kind of thinking about him in a situation where they did run RPOs, especially early in his career when he was a little bit more athletic. I might lean towards Donovan McNabb, but it's super close for me. They're very similar quarterbacks.
Cam Newton had 3 seasons with 10 rushing touchdowns, bro.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy, bro.
Yeah. That is crazy. That's crazy. Next guy, another MVP. Probably, and I'm a little biased here, so I'm going to let y'all do it because this guy's my favorite quarterback of all time, but another very similar quarterback to Cam Newton, Steve McNair. Rest in peace.
Man, I go Steve McNair. I just thought Steve McNair was just a great quarterback.
Yeah. Steve McNair took Jeff Fisher to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, bro. And give me Steve McNair.
Steve McNair took an MVP from Peyton Manning.
Were they co-MVP?
They were co-MVPs.
Right.
Imagine calling up Peyton Manning like, hey, Peyton, you're going to have to share this one with Steve McNair. So, yeah, give me McNair.
And I think McNair's best receiving core ever was probably Derek Mason and Kevin Dyson and Frank Wycheck. Like, that was the best he ever got. And not to say that any of those guys were horrible or not. I think they are decent receivers, but never, like, just had, like, those receivers that you would put in Hall of Fame or top 5. You never got Steve McNair with guys with a top 5 receiver. So I think that says a lot too.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I would go McNair. And then last guy on this list, Cam Newton or Michael Vick.
Vick
for sure.
Vick in today's NFL is better.
Vick in today's, and they will be talking about, if Michael Vick grew up in this era, same athleticism, traits, and everything, they will be talking about him like Lamar Jackson.
For sure.
He'd probably be above Lamar Jackson, honestly. Like, if he would have had all these reps and set, imagine Vick in college now with how they're running these offenses. Like, imagine in an alternate universe, if Nick Saban recruits Michael Vick instead of like Jalen Hurts or Tua, and it's him and Judy and Waddle and Ruggs and Josh Jacobs and
don't even play the season. Just give him the title.
Man, Mike Vick, man, just think about Mike Vick and what Mike Vick and Deshaun Jackson did that year, right? Yeah. Just imagine him having just a speed threat like that, or in college and like in today's game, bro. Like we saw the real Mike Vick for like 1 year. Like we got sapped by then. The man went to prison and came out crazier. Like, I mean, straight up. Like, he went to prison, fed time, came home, like, yeah, and became a better passer. Like, yeah, bro, what? Who was he working out with?
Cheeseburger Eddie, bro. Like, that's
yeah. Well, Vic a problem, man. Well, it ain't a whole lot of people you gonna get me to take over Vic straight up. So,
I mean, just imagine Mike Vick who studied film being able to run RPOs.
Damn, they don't need him to, man. Like, the RPO, like, look, read him. Read the edge. Come on, bro. Yeah. Vic, real live cheat code, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we seen one better than Vic. Like, athletic tools, could throw the ball further, stronger arm, faster. That man ran a 4.2, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Vic and Lamar.
And built like a running back. Lamar a little slight. Man, Vic was built like a running back, bro.
Vic out of jail had some weight on him too, just as fast. Yeah. So, I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks we could go over when it comes to Cam Newton. Like I said, there's probably about 25 names you could really argue there. But I know we got to wrap this up, fellas. So I'm going to give y'all just one last big takeaway from the show. I wasn't gonna play too much of a contrarian today. But one last big takeaway from the show that y'all got, what y'all looking forward to within the next week, and then plug your socials and we can get up out of here.
What I'm looking forward to in the next week, I'm like going back to our conversation earlier. I want to see the Browns' next preseason game. I just want to know what's going to happen. I feel like it's not the biggest story in the league, but one of the stories that I'm most looking forward to, because it's like, preseason, for the most part, if you're not watching like your favorite team, it's not like a great product to watch. It's not like easy to follow. So I'll be watching to see what the Browns do in the next week. College football is heating up. Quarterback battle at Notre Dame going on. We'll see what's happening at Ohio State. I know Bama's is closed there. So still reading the tea leaves of what's going on about that ahead of football season. Probably be my two main things.
Bet. Dukes, what you looking for?
The Magic City documentary.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting. So, as somebody who frequent in there for many lunches, hundreds of wings eaten there. I think being able to see it from this side of it will be interesting. So, shout out, man! Can't wait to see that. And I think the album gonna be hard too, man. Shout out to Jermaine Dupri.
Right. Gotta get the lemon pepper lose when you in Magic City.
So, man, but man, the hot lemon pepper underrated for sure.
Oh yeah.
And they got pretty good blue cheese.
Are you a blue cheese over ranch guy?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk off.
Yeah.
We're
gonna start the next episode with that.
Right. That might be egregious. You talking about I'm playing contrarian. Shh. You showing your age.
Hey, buddy, let me tell you something, man. Like, first time I had blue cheese, I was like, hey, buddy, what it is? It's some meat in there. It's some meat in my ranch. They're like, nah, boy, that's the cheese. I said, oh, man, that's it. Buddy, what kind of meat is it?
That's how you know you're finna go off when you start with a buddy. But for me, over the next week, what I'm looking forward to, who else gonna get implicated with the boy, man? Like, I'm reading the tea leaves, bro. I'm trying to see what else he's gonna be asking for.
Shout out to the boy, man. What did I miss?
All right, man. Y'all plug our socials and let's get out of here.
Yeah, man. On Twitter at SkinnyKenny_, Instagram Slimmington SLIMMIG. Well, I spelled that all wrong. That's crazy. Wow. SLIMMINGTON.
Slim with the tilted brim. Hey, boy, you got to put that in the rap, my boy. Like, Dukes the Scoop at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah.
What y'all don't know is like he gonna have to change that name in a minute though, because Slimmington ain't too slim no more. You getting a little.
Hey, man. Hey, hold on. Hey, what drinks you did in that one skit?
Getting a little
Hold that down.
Hold that down.
Hey, you in trouble. Telling you.
All right, y'all can catch me on IG at word.smith 2_. Again, that's at word.smith 2_. This been the Rec League. We'll see y'all next week.
Boy, that's crazy.